Good day. Here are the top stories of the Manila Times for Saturday, October 17, 2020. Former Department of Health Secretary Dr. Alfredo R.A. Bengzon and his daughter-in-law Margaret were charged before the Pasig City Prosecutor's Office for qualified theft and estafa by the Medical City, which runs a network of hospitals and clinics. The complaint was filed on October 15 by Joseph Carballo, head of the Internal Audit of the Professional Service Incorporated, operator of the TMC. The case stemmed from the checks issued by TMC and signed and approved by Bengzon, who was then the firm's CEO, and his daughter-in-law. Carballo alleged that the respondents stole company funds in the forms of unauthorized money transfers via check issued to Bengzon himself. The Bengzons could not be reached by the Manila Times for comment. The House of Representatives passed on the third and final reading the proposed 4.5 trillion peso 2021 national budget on October 16 after 4 days of marathon deliberations in a special session called by President Rodrigo Duterte. New House Speaker Lord Alan Velasco presided over the nominal voting and announced the approval of House Bill 7727 or the 2021 General Appropriations Bill, with 257 members voting in the affirmative, 6 voting no, and 0 abstentions. Velasco thanked his colleagues for heeding Duterte's call for the swift passage of the GAB. The government has eased age and travel restrictions imposed to prevent coronavirus transmissions in the country as it moves to reopen the economy. Pala spokesman Harry Roque Jr. said the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases, or the IATF-EID, approved in a meeting on Thursday the recommendation of the economic cluster to expand the age group of people who can leave their houses. Under an IATF-EID resolution, those aged 15 to 65 years old are now allowed to go out. The task force also relaxed travel restrictions by allowing people, including those not listed as authorized persons outside their residences or APR, to travel between areas under general and modified community quarantines. Medium business enterprises, or MBEs, must pay their workers the 13th month salary because they are not considered distressed establishments, Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello III said on Friday. In a virtual briefing, Bello said MBEs are better off than micro and small business enterprises, or MSBEs, and can afford to pay the mandatory salary. Bello said the department was considering either a cash aid or loan to help MSBEs that are in the red. In world news, Thailand's government declared a strict new state of emergency for the capital, Bangkok, on Thursday, a day after a student-led protest against the country's traditional establishment saw an extraordinary moment in which demonstrators heckled a royal motorcade. After the pre-dawn declaration, riot police moved in to clear out demonstrators who, after a day of rallies and confrontation, had gathered outside Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha's office to push their demands, which include the former general's resignation, constitutional changes, and the reform of the monarchy. Several top leaders of the protest movement were taken into custody. In business, travel agencies, tour operators, and other related businesses and services in the country can now resume operations today at different capacities and depending on their location. Trade Secretary Ramon Lopez, through a memorandum circular he signed on October 14 and released on Friday, recategorized travel and tourism-related firms from Category 4 to Category 3. According to the guidelines from the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases, or the IATF-EID, businesses and industries under Category 4 are not allowed to operate in areas under Enhanced Community Quarantine and General Community Quarantine. Those under Category 3 are permitted to reopen at 50% operational capacity with a skeletal workforce. In sports, the Blackwater Elite are keen to get back on the winning track when they face the winless NLEX Road Warriors in the PBA Season 45 Philippine Cup in the 4 p.m. first game at the Angeles University Foundation Sports Arena and the Cultural Center in Pampanga today. The Magnolia Hotshots Pambansang Manok battled the Alaska Aces in the 6:45 p.m. main game. The Elite are hoping to redeem themselves from their loss to the Barangay Ginebra Gin Kings on Thursday night. Blackwater put up a valiant fight against the Gin Kings only to fall short in the endgame, 103-99. Yen Macabenta and Mon Tufo are the featured columnists on the Times front page. Macabenta takes on the recent scandal that rocked the U.S. presidential campaign involving Democratic candidate Joe Biden and his son Hunter, based on an expose by the New York Post. Tulfo devotes his column on philanthropists and the secrets of their wealth. The Times editorial talks about Labor Secretary Sylvester Belli III and how his recent order on the release of the workers' 13th month pay, though laudable, is expected to hurt businesses. For a full version of the editorial, please listen to The Voice of the Times. For more news and information, get a copy of the Manila Times, subscribe to the digital edition, or log on to www.manilatimes.net. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and keep up with the times.